Hello, good afternoon to all. Today we will see PHP session. I have already explained cookie. Let us see the difference between cookie and session. Cookies are client-side files that contain user information, and sessions are server-side files which contain user information. Cookie ends depending on the lifetime you set for it. You can set the time for cookies, but in session, whenever the browser is closed, a session ends when the user closes his browser. You don't need to start cookie as it is stored in your local machine. In PHP, before using $_session, you have to write session start. When you want to use $_session, you have to write session start first. Then it will start the session. The official maximum cookie size is 4 KB, and session you can store as much data as you like. A cookie is not dependent on session. A session is dependent on cookie. It is assigned one session ID. When you start the session, it assigns one ID for every session, and that it includes ID, session ID with cookie. There is no function named unsetCookie in cookie. Session destroy is used to destroy or register data or to unset some values. How to destroy session? Session destroy function is available here, and here unset cookie is not available to destroy cookie. Here too, I have already told you how to delete a cookie. Then a session is a mechanism to persist information across the different web pages to identify users as they navigate our site or app. Suppose you use any site here. Suppose google.com. So many pages are available here. Google search, Gmail, images. Here so many apps are available. Or when you do any net banking, any login credentials you provide for the website, then when you log and visit multiple pages, but how to identify that user is there? Suppose in net banking you have to give your login and password, then visit multiple pages, then how to know the server that user is same for all pages? Then session is necessary to maintain the state of the user. Then HTTP protocol is a stateless protocol. It can't maintain the state from client to server. Therefore sessions are come into picture, and session, when you want to maintain the state from client to server, then you use session. And before any session, you start the session. Client gives request to this resource, server responds with a resource. Then when you access a web page, the server is just responsible for providing the contents of the requested page. So when you access other pages of the same website, the web server interprets each and every request separately without session, as if they were unrelated to one another. There is no way for the server to know that each request originated from the same user. Every request is different and it gives different handle different requests from same user. But using session, authenticate user in each request. Here every request have stored user information, but where sessions come into the picture, a session allows you to share information across the different pages of a single site or app. Once the user's information is stored, then it is applicable to all the pages up to closing the browser. Let us see login flow with sessions and cookies. A user opens the login page of a website. After submitting the login form, a server on the other end authenticates the request by validating the credentials that were entered. If the credentials entered by the user are valid, the server creates a new session. The server generates a unique random number which is called a session ID. It also creates a new file on the server which is used to store the session specific information. It creates one folder, temporary folder, which stores all the information related to that session. Next, the session ID is passed back to the user along with whatever resource was requested. Behind the scenes, this session ID is sent to the Phpsession cookie in the response header. Whenever the information is stored at the client side, in cookie it is client side and session it is server side. From server it sends the session ID with the cookie information. If cookies are allowed by the browser, it will save this Phpsession cookie which stores the session ID passed by the server. When the server comes across the Phpsession cookie, it will try to initialize the session with that session ID. It does so by loading the session file which was created earlier during session initialization. One folder is there, all the information is stored there, and whenever new session is there, new session ID is created. And every information it assigns, it connects with that ID, then it identifies the information is for that session ID. Therefore, it retrieves all the data related with that session. And it will then initialize the super global array variable $_session with the data stored in the session file. Here, client requests a resource, server responds with a resource and a unique session ID. Subsequent requests contain the session ID. Server remembers the user from the session ID and returns personalized response. Every retrieval and sending information have session ID. Therefore, it identifies which session is there and which information is required. Here, where to start the session. How to start a session? Session start. Suppose this is a demo session1.php file is there, and in this session set session variables $_session, favorite color is equal to green, $_session, favorite animal is equal to cat. Suppose session variables are set. Here it stores the value. Session variables are set. How to access that values? Here echo favorite color is $session favorite color and $session favorite animal. After executing this program, if session is set, session have variables and they are set, then it will display value of that variables. Favorite color is green and cat. Run example. If you execute this program, suppose first you have to see this program, copy, notepad, paste, save as, all files, session.php. Then after executing this program, http:// localhost slash session.php session.php. First of all, you start your server. Session variables are set. Then again you want to see another program accessing session variable values. Then copy, Ctrl V, save as, session1.php, save. Here session1 dot session1.php. Favorite color is green and favorite animal is cat. First we have to start the session here. Here start the session and you have to store values. Favorite color is equal to green, favorite animal is equal to cat. Whenever you start the session, it creates one ID for that session. Therefore another page here, open session1, we have to access that values from session start. Favorite color is dollar. How to access that values? $_session, $_session, favorite animal. Then it will display all the values which are related to session. Then here another way to show all the session variable values for user session is to run the following code. Here all the values it will display using print_r session. Here Ctrl V, file save as, session2 .php, save. Then here how to execute that, same output. It stores the using print_r, it gives all the values favorite color and favorite animal. Key value pair is there. How to modify a session using session start. $_session favorite color is equal to green. We have to modify that is equal to yellow, and then print our session. It will display all the values with modified value, that is yellow. How to destroy session. All global session variables and destroy the session. Session start, remove all session variables, sessions unset. It removes all the variables, means two variables are there, favorite color and favorite animal. Then unset and destroy the session. It remove all session variables, and here it removes session, destroy the session. Like that you can maintain session management, do the session management. I hope you will understood all the concepts. Thank you.